Hi there, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Melissa Greenhill. I'm a marketing specialist here with Encore. So today we have with us Alan Whitehouse from True Sky, and he'll be talking about revenue forecasting. Hi there, Alan.
Hi there, how you doing today?
Great, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Awesome. You feel free to take it
Oh,
away.
all right, so I'll take it over from here. So what I
Sure.
want to do is start with a couple housekeeping slides, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about True Sky at a high level, show some slides, talk a little bit about what we do, and then I will show some of our application. Everyone keep in mind that I'm not going to have time to show you everything that we do. We're only going to be here for half an hour, but we will leave some time at the end for some questions. So we will send you out afterwards a link to the recording. So if you like it, you want to see it again, share it with somebody, great, you'll know where that is. Right now, all of your phones are on mute. So if you have any questions, we will answer them at the end. You can type them into the GoToWebinar question box, and we will make sure we leave some time at the end to get to them. And there will be a little quick, super quick exit survey that will pop up when you leave. Please take a moment to answer it. It just does help us get better at doing these types of webinars. So let's start with this as to why you need a revenue forecasting, a sales forecasting, whatever term we want to use type of application. And I'm going to go on the assumption that most of you are using Excel today. And why is that? Well, it really comes down to Excel is a very powerful tool. It's flexible. It allows you to model any process you want, whether that be expenses or revenue or compensation, what have you. It's got super powerful calculations. So again, if you are doing like sales forecasting, you can do a lot of kind of what if kind of scenarios with trending and get to where you need to be. It has a very rich presentation layer and has high user adoption. But as you all probably realize, Excel isn't perfect. It's not a database. You've got a whole lot of manual steps to go, especially if you weren't trying to pull data from your host ERP system or your order entry system or your CRM system, whatever the case may be. It doesn't really have built-in workflow, and there are no audit trails when people make individual changes to individual cells. You tend to have a lot of version control issues over time. How many spreadsheets do you have in your desktop that are called like book 1, version 1, book 1, version 2, or so forth, and which is the latest version, because you just can't go by the last save date. And unfortunately, Excel can be sometimes error prone. In fact, some studies have shown that 90% of all spreadsheets contain some form of error. Now, hopefully your errors aren't as big as what happened to JP Morgan, who lost $6 billion because of copy paste and an error there, or that you weren't, say, Fidelity, that were off by 2.6 billion on their financials because of a minus sign error right there. But take those down and scale those down to the everyday kind of things and look at what those might mean to your business. Odds are you have some material errors in your forecasting and budgeting type spreadsheets. So again, that's one of the things that we want to help you with. Now, why do you want to look at something like True Sky? Well, at the end of the day, we are going to allow you to focus on all the high value things that go along with doing a budget and a forecast, and get away from all that drudgery that drives you insane. And really, we're going to help three different, kind of user bases within your organization. The first one we're going to help are what we call contributors. Those are the people that are doing the front line, the initial data input. And we're going to help reduce the time and the effort that it takes for them to get through a budget or a forecast. When it comes to the finance group, who is the other group of stakeholders that we help, we're going to help minimize the administration overhead it takes to run a forecast. And we're going to increase the quality of the numbers that they get in. And at the end of the day, when it comes to decision makers, we're going to provide meaningful information, not just raw numbers, that is going to help them reduce risk and avoid surprises. So when it comes to True Sky, we have a couple key pillars as to kind of what we provide and what we're trying to empower you with. So one of those is that we want you to be able to continue to leverage the use of Excel. Now, it might seem kind of strange that we're saying this after I just talked about how error prone Excel was, but why do we want you to continue to leverage Excel? Well, first and foremost, it has rapid user adoption, right? People in your organization already know how to use Excel. Therefore, you can roll out things in Excel with minimal training. Excel has a huge depth and breadth of functionality. It's been around for 30 years, and it's got everything you could think of. It's got incredible ease of use and a huge amount of flexibility. And we here at TrueSky really, truly believe that from an end user interface point of view, Excel is the absolute best tool you can use for doing budgeting and forecasting. But we're going to take that and we're going to take away all the pains that go along with using Excel. And we're also going to add in some specific enhancements to help you with the budgeting and forecasting process. So you're going to get the best of using Excel, and we're going to take away all that pain that goes along with using Excel. When it comes to the pillars, we wanted to make sure that we could empower the finance group in your organization. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to centralize your data. So data is not going to reside in a dozen or 100 different Excel workbook. It's all going to be in a central database. We're going to give you things like audit trails as data security and application and data security. We're going to give you, excuse me, automatic real-time merging of all of your data. That's probably one of the biggest pain points of using Excel today. We'll give you direct integration to multiple data sources. We're going to promote the accountability in your organization from who people are putting in numbers. And thanks to our build once design, you're going to dramatically reduce the amount of effort it takes to get through a budgeting cycle. And then finally, when it comes to the final pillar, we want to help facilitate knowledge, right? And we're going to allow you to do that by easily involving more people in the budgeting and forecasting process. We're going to allow you to capture both quantitative and qualitative data. We're going to give you deep dive analysis into your numbers, increased accuracy, and at the end of the day, decision level information. Well, I know today we're talking about budgeting and forecasting, or really revenue forecasting, excuse me. But these are just some of the things up on screen that you can do with TrueSky. So you can do financial planning, compensation planning, sales revenue forecasting, kind of what we're talking about today, expenses, CapEx, project cost or project revenue, production planning, inventory planning, all those kind of things that TrueSky can do. We also allow you to do reporting and dashboarding with TrueSky. And again, we're not really touching on all of these today, but it is available. So consolidated budget reports, if you're doing financial budgeting, presentation income statements, balance sheet, cash flows, budget to actual type reports, things around FTI headcounts, KPIs and dashboards, pretty much any data that we've got in TrueSky, you can do that. So when it comes to sales and forecasting, a couple things to keep in mind. We can easily integrate data from your electronic data sources. So whether that be your ERP system, your order entry system, your customer relationship management system, those can all become data sources for TrueSky, okay? We're going to allow you to involve more people into the process. So getting things like department managers, salespeople involved in the process who know their customers or their products and the sales landscape the best. We're gonna be able to ultimately transform your sales pipeline into kind of visual dashboards and reports. So again, see where you're gonna end up. We're going to ultimately improve your accuracy and your version control. And you can continue to use that familiar Excel interface like I've talked about, but not have all of the limitations that you're working with today. So with that, I'm going to get out of the slides and show you a little bit about our application. Now, keep in mind, I'm not going to be able to show you everything we do. And there is a ton of what we do. So I'm just trying to give you a flavor. And hopefully, if you want to learn more after this, we'll give you our contact information so you know how to get a hold of us and find out more. So right now on screen, you're seeing Excel. And again, I'm going to show you how end users integrate with TrueSky. So home, insert, page layout, all of the traditional tabs that you're used to working with in Excel today. And then where we come in here is in the TrueSky tab. Now, the first thing I like to point out, we support multiple languages and multiple data formats for those languages. So if you have operations where your part of your organization is working in English, part is working in French as an example, you can deploy that within TrueSky. Again, people can work in the language of their choice. So again, if I'm somebody that prefers to work in French as an example, I have that available to me. Next thing I want to point out is this little button that's called the Hub. The Hub is the central area where an end user goes to see what they have to work on and what they have access to. And the two tabs I'm going to focus on are assignments and reports. So assignments are input sheets, how you get data into the system. So as an example, when it comes to reforecast and when it comes to the sales forecast, you can see I have a couple different tasks I have to work on, like the reforecast input or the sales and revenue forecast. And when it comes to reports, I have like a reforecasting dashboard available to me, and I have a couple different financial statements as an example. These are what I see when I log in. When another user logs in, they would see something completely different. So as an example, I can also be part of the compensation planning process, but the user next to me in the desk next to me, or in today's world in the house across the street, because we're all working from home, they may not be able to work on compensation planning, so they won't even see it on the list here. Everything we do in TrueSky dynamically renders itself to the individual user based on their specific security settings and what has been published by an administrator. Other things that we're going to start bringing to the table with TrueSky, things like start and end dates. So you're going to be able to control when people can start working on the budget, and more importantly, when you are done with a budget cycle, whether that be a once-a-year budget cycle or a budget, reforecast that you're doing every month, you're going to be able to control that. And you can lock them out when you no longer want them to make changes. So you never have to worry about numbers changing randomly, and where you don't know where did that change come from, how did we get here, and so forth. We also have a complete workflow approval engine built into TrueSky that you can use to route your numbers through various levels of approval. So as an example, if we're talking about sales forecasting, revenue forecasting, you could have all of your salespeople putting in their sales forecasts. And then those numbers would roll up to, say, a sales manager who might approve or reject those numbers. And then those numbers might, roll up to a district manager or a regional manager or a VP of sales or whatever the case may be. So you have a complete workflow approval process that you can put in place with TrueSky as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up an input sheet for me to work on the sales and revenue forecast. And what the system did was go out and bring back and render a template specifically for me and what I am allowed to see and work with. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can do forecasting. This is not the only ways you can do it. I'm going to show you something where you can forecast by customer, by product, then something just by product, and then something just by customer. Again, different people do it differently. So right here, I'm going to start with the customer and product forecast. And right down here, you can see it's asking me to select a customer. And if I click on my edit list here, I'm going to be given a list of customers that I have access to. Now, this list can be integrated with your source data systems. So if you add a new customer to your ERP system or your order entry system or your CRM system, wherever we're getting the list of customers, we will automatically pick it up in TrueSky. You no longer have to maintain two different systems. So we're going to take that workload off of your shoulders. And again, this list is going to be governed by security. So I will only see, say, as a salesperson, the customers that are assigned to me. So I'm going to go ahead and retrieve data for Herman's World of Sporting Goods. And now what it's doing is it's going out and picking up that customer. And not only is it going to bring me back customer information of that customer, it is now figuring out which products that I am allowed to budget or to forecast for this customer. Because you can put rules in place that say this customer, you can only forecast for these products, or this customer only gets these products. So again, what it allows you to do is be very detailed with the type of budgeting and forecasting you're doing. Now, a couple things I want to talk about here. What you see on this layout, what's on rows, what's on columns, color shading, font control is completely up to you, okay? I'm showing my forecast for 2020 with my prices and then ultimately getting at the amount here. But you can see I'm limiting it to 3 months at a time, but I can expand out and I can now budget out for 12 months at a time, or I could go 60 months at a time, or I could be going on a rolling type forecast basis. I also have the ability to see more on my prices. Right here, a couple things I want to point out. I'm budgeting on a calendar year, but you could be budgeting on a fiscal year and forecasting on a fiscal year. Enter on a calendar, report on a fiscal, enter on a fiscal, report on a calendar. I'm budgeting on a monthly basis, but we also support daily, weekly, quarterly, or yearly, okay? And when it comes time to start entering in numbers, I can just type in what is the quantity that I expect today. Now you'll see a couple things here as I type in as they change. So first of all, I am putting in numbers here, but if I try to change my price as an example, you'll see I'm locked down and preventing from doing that. So in this setup, we're allowing users to only enter quantities, be able to see the price and be able to see what their totals are going to be at the end of the day, but not edit the price. And they can even put in things like discounts. In this example, I'm doing it by a discount percentage. Now, other things that you see that I might be putting in here, and you'll see some of these numbers change, and you see how it's going from red to not red to a normal number. We're putting in some visual clues that allow people that maybe some of the numbers that they're putting in are excessive, right? So I'm giving them immediate feedback that says, you know what, 300 for this month based on say last year's numbers or your trending for different things is too much to see, because now here are my actuals that you've got right here. So again, we're giving them that greater feedback that they've got while they're doing the budgeting and the forecasting process. And again, right here, we're giving them some spark lines to kind of see how their numbers are trending as they go through with their numbers. So again, everything that they need at their fingertips to do budgeting. Now, other things that you can see here, I'm showing what the product SKU number and the product name is. There are also additional information that you can source for them. So this is the bike category and then the subcategory. So again, whatever helps them doing budgeting and forecasting. You can also give them visualization. So here I can see what my product mix is by how I'm breaking down. So again, whether your people are very numbers based or graphical based, they can get at the data here. Now, because this is Excel, I have all of that same kind of functionality that I'm used to working with Excel, like copy paste, click and drag is equal to the sum of these numbers right here. So again, I don't have to learn any unique syntax just to operate with TrueSky. So your people can pick it up very, very rapidly with very little training that is needed. Now, other things that we bring to the table as TrueSky is a series of tools that help get you in and out of the budgeting forecast quicker. So right here, maybe what I want to do is I know what I'm going to spend over the course or what I'm going to forecast right here. And I know they're going to do, at the end of the year, it's going to be 600 units, right? And I don't want to have to go cell by cell and do the math myself. So right here, I'm going to say even, I'm going to hit replace. And it automatically knew that 600 units divided by 12 was 50 units a month. So again, giving them tools to do bulk increases, bulk decreases to their numbers without having to go cell by cell by cell. Again, it gets your people in quicker and faster. And maybe, I know the target's going to be here 600, but I want to base this on the trending on how their numbers were last year. So here I'm hitting my goal of 600, but now I'm trending it based on how that customer bought product from us last year. So there's a lot of those kind of things that are available here as well. So you can do things, okay? Other things that we give you, direct drill down back to far more detail of the information. So I'm doing a budget and a forecast here. I'm gonna before I show you the drill down, I can actually add notes here, right? So I can actually put in commentary about why they're gonna buy this. Right, so you've got the ability to add commentary, so that qualitative kind of information to your numbers here. We give you the ability to have complete audit trails, so anytime people make changes to the numbers, you can actually track who made what changes. We also give you great drill down capability within TrueSky. So right here, I'm gonna go links, and right here, maybe I wanna see what is all about this product. Maybe I don't know necessarily what this Road 150 Red 52 product is. Well, instead of me having to go somewhere else, I'm gonna right there do a quick drill down. I think I grabbed the wrong one here. Let me see what I got going. Oh, I think I set up the wrong one. I'll show you something else here in just a minute for it. But what we give you is things like drill downs. Yep, I have the wrong one set up here. But now I can actually even do other things here. So maybe I want to view more information about this product. So I'm going to go with summaries right here. And you can see here it's showing me all the additional information about this item. Or maybe I want to see what are some of the related products that are related to this. So right here, based on the logic, I get to see all of the different products that you have available right here working with this one product. So that's kind of showing you by customer, by product. And then ultimately at the end of the day, based on your rules, if you're doing things like financial budgeting and well, these numbers would feed your financial and the different revenue and cost of goods sold account. So let me show you just, a different kind of slice of this, which is budgeting by product, right? So right here, I'm going to, instead of going customer product, I'm just going to do a customer forecast. Now, again, instead of seeing back all my products, I can choose to bring back a product category. So I can choose, say, mountain bikes here. And now what it's going to do is bring back all of the products that are related to the category of mountain bike. So I don't have to see the whole list. I can just focus on a particular category when I am doing budgeting. And now in this example, you see it's a little bit different because not only can I put in numbers, but here I can actually edit the forecast, what we're going to sell it for. So again, you can give different people different security rights to what kind of data they can change. So maybe only certain people can change the price, but everyone can change the quantity. And then again, this is going to give me what my forecasted dollars are going to be at the end of the day. And now we'll see if this drill down right here is what I'm looking for. Yep, so right here, if I wanted to find out more about this Mountain 100 silver bike, if you've got, say, a published product catalog, it can go out and bring back exactly information about this product on the product catalog right here. And again, it is dynamic. So if I go down to, say, this item right here and run that same list, it'll know to bring back a different product for me so I can get a little bit more information about this. So it's, again, great for people that are doing budgeting and forecasting that may not know your whole product catalog. So again, different ways you can budget differently. And now I'm just doing something at a pure customer level kind of thing here. So I'm going to go into the customer forecast. Now again, I can choose what type of customer to bring back. Am I bringing back retail or wholesale customers in this example? And again, the list that I see here is going to be controlled by security. So if I don't get to see a customer, it won't even appear on this list. If you have named accounts that only that salesperson can work with, great, it's going to show up here. But now I'm doing something a little bit differently here. Not only do I see my list of customers, and not only do I have, again, that visualization to kind of see, what are their total sales and so forth. Here I'm getting some additional feedback as I'm budgeting. Is this, of our customers, what is their global rank as far as sales go? So kind of maybe know how much effort I should send in thinking about my budgeting for this customer. Are they one of our top 25? And in this budget cycle, are they one of our top 25s? And again, I can start putting in all of my different numbers here, and different criteria will change here. So again, we're trying to make your people more effective, let them focus on where they need to focus rather than try to do everything. Especially when I've got a huge list of customers like this, maybe I want to spend all the time just working on the starred type of customers. And at the end of the day, I can see, how my budget is going to break down. And again, I get that visual of it on what the sales are, again, if I'm a more visual type person. So that gives you a couple different ways that we can do budgeting and forecasting in TrueSky. This is not everything that we can do when it comes to revenue forecasting. So I'm going to give a couple wrap-up slides, and then we're going to open it up to any kind of questions that you might have. So again, when it comes to budgeting and forecasting, you can do any kind of budgeting and forecasting process that you want with TrueSky. So at the end of the day, you're going to get all of the strengths of Excel. You're going to get that flexibility that goes along with Excel. You're going to be able to model any process that you can think about with it. You can have all of that powerful calculations. You get the rich presentation layer, and you get the high user adoption. But you're also going to get the added control that TrueSky brings to it. You're going to get the fact that we're database driven. You're going to get that workflow that goes along with it. You're going to get the approval process. You're going to get security. You're going to get audit trails. You're going to get all of our productivity tools. You're going to get direct integration back to your source data. And because you can build a template once and it shows differently for 100 different people, you can build it once. You're going to save yourself a lot of time and effort. At the end of the day, you're going to get an enterprise solution. You're going to get one version of the truth. You're going to get centralized control. You're going to get not just numbers, but actionable information. It's going to help reduce risk and avoid surprises. So if you want to get more information, by all means, contact Encore. They know how to get a hold of us. You can also go out to our website. We've got some additional videos and information about the product there. But usually what would happen next is if you're interested, get a hold of us. We'd be more than happy to do a more detailed demo with you. Decide, are we the right product for you? Do a kind of scope review with you. What would you like to deploy within TrueSky? And then ultimately send you a detailed proposal that kind of shows you, how this is going to help you out. So with that, I'm going to stop talking right now, and I'm going to open it up for any kind of questions before you drop off. I do like to thank you for taking time out of your day to see a little bit more about what TrueSky has to offer. I hope you found a little bit of this intriguing. And again, if you already have to drop off, thank you for your time and have a great day. And I will now pause and open it up for questions.
Great, thank you, Alan. I do have a few questions here if you've got some time.
Yep.
Okay, so first one is, what is your licensing model?
Okay, so TrueSky has, we've tried to keep the licensing very, very simple. And it really comes down to number of users that you need. So you don't have to worry about how big is your database size, how many different data sources are you integrating to, how many different data models. It really only comes down to user licenses. And you are one of 3 user types. You are either a reporting only user, which is a user that can only run reports, okay? Or you're a next step up. You are a reporting user that can also be involved in the approval process. So this is the type of license that you might give to an executive who is going to say yes or no to budget numbers, but is not ever going to be actually doing data input themselves. And then our most inclusive license is the full use license, which allows you to do data input, be part of the approval process, and run reports. So really you just break your users down into what are those 3 kind of buckets, and then you decide who fits the best into that, and that's really our user license, is all you need to know. Hope that helps.
Oh, okay, great. Yes. I have a second question here is, can you talk a bit more about the integration to ERP?
Yeah, so we have out-of-the-box integrations to a lot of the major ERPs out there, and if we don't, we usually can get the data out because of our integration tools, right? So not only do we bring in, when you set up an integration into TrueSky, it can be for master records. So that would be things like your customers, your products, your employees, your GL accounts, your departments, whatever the case may be. And then again, we can configure those to update on a regular basis. So if you add a new customer, you add a new department, you add a new product, TrueSky will pick it up automatically, so you don't have to maintain 2 different systems. We can also bring in things like your actuals. So customer sales last year, whether it be by dollars or units. We can bring in product prices from the source system, so you don't have to, again, maintain it. So you can actually see all of those in TrueSky. So you can integrate both master records as well as the actuals from different areas. And again, we work with you to figure out what makes the correct configuration for you guys in your particular situation.
Okay, awesome. Okay, one more question.
Okay.
Can TrueSky be deployed in the cloud?
Yes, so there are a couple different methods for deploying TrueSky. So one, you can deploy it on premise in your environment, and that could be, whether you've got a server room in your organization, where you host your own servers, or in a hosted environment, a hosting environment that you control. So that's one option. We kind of call that on premise. TrueSky also has a cloud offering called TrueSky Online. So it can be deployed in the cloud. So you can do a cloud-based deployment of TrueSky. The nice thing is either solution can integrate with your source data, and either solution has the exact same feature sets. So you don't have to give up features or functionality because you want an on-premise solution or because you want a cloud solution. You get to choose which way to deploy based on whatever your IT mandate is, whether that be going for on-premise deployments or cloud type deployments. So TrueSky supports them both, and you don't give up anything by going one versus the other. So absolutely, we have TrueSky Online as an option for you for the cloud.
Wonderful. And look, I think we stayed right on time too. So thanks for answering those. And thanks for presenting today, Alan.
Great. Well, thank
That
you
was great.
for having us. And again, I hope all of you like what you saw, and this has intrigued you a little bit to learn a little bit more about TrueSky.
Absolutely. Okay, have a good afternoon, everyone.